Hey, I got a lot of nerve being the one to tell you to be consistent. I haven't given you guys an episode in probably over a month now. By the way, Merry Christmas. But here's the problem when you're not consistent. When you're not consistent, you're selling yourself short. Someone could have taken your idea and run with it in the same amount of time it takes you to realize that you had a good idea to begin with. You could have already seen progress. What's the point of starting something that you're not going to finish? What's the point in saying, hey Amanda, let's run 30 miles a month if you're not actually going to do it? Yeah, I'm talking to myself, old lazy ass. Started running in the beginning of October and I've given up already. Not because I've given up on myself, but I've allowed the weather to be my excuse as to why I can't go running. It's too cold, I say. My poor frozen chicken legs. My poor runny nose. Man, fuck that shit. How about my poor circulation? How about my poor eating habits and my poor blood pressure? There are a lot of reasons you can give yourself that'll justify not being consistent. So you need to find the one good reason to be consistent. If you don't, then okay. Don't do it then. Be your worst version of yourself if that's what you choose. But I promise you'll be happier in the long term if you give yourself reasons to be happy, reasons to be healthy. It might even make dealing with family over the holidays an enjoyable pastime. Am I pushing it? Probably pushing it. But when you're in sicko mode in your personal life, visiting your racist grandma is the least of your obstacles, right? You've already been challenging yourself, giving yourself ultimatums. Either do this or be unhappy. Sometimes family is one of those challenges. Sitting around a dinner table, awkwardly struggling to find a topic to connect on. God, please don't let grandma bring up the president. Please don't bring up the president. Please don't bring up the president. And then she does, and your brain starts screaming, oh my God, shut up! Why are you doing this to us? But your mouth stays shut. You may even have to close your eyes to imagine that the good Lord or whatever other entity you believe in, Jeebus, Xenu, a spacecraft trailing Hellbop, has taken you far away from this situation. And you sit there quietly with a look of bliss while everyone else at the table questions your sanity. What in the world could she possibly be so happy about? Number one, Grandma's bitterness ain't got nothing to do with you. And in that moment that she's spewing some regurgitated shit about Obama's birth certificate, you can smile and recognize that she's the angry one. She's the one holding on to some baggage that's affecting her daily life. One where she's mad about some shit that she sees on TV instead of being mindful of what a blessing her life should be. You're happy because you understand that at least you get the luxury of stepping out of this toxic family bubble when the day's over, while Grandma's been living in her own personal hell for the last 45 years. And her mind isn't going to change today all of a sudden because you want to talk to her about proper gender pronouns and whether or not the president's committing treason. It's like crying when a baby is crying just because the baby is crying. Why though? Noise levels elevate, tensions rise, everyone around you is uncomfortable and wants to throw both of you into the ocean. It ain't a good look. So this holiday, try not to poke the bear. Leave Grandma alone. Let your uncle try to convince the world the Chinese are about to force us all to learn Mandarin. If you have to say something, never lead with your emotions. As a matter of fact, the only interjection I support is, hey, I gotta go take a shit! And then spend at least half an hour in the bathroom venting to Reddit. Anything to not give Uncle Joe the ammunition he needs to call you a crybaby communist. Family's rough. You don't get to choose them. And honestly, you don't even have to choose to see or acknowledge them. But if you must, either out of Catholic guilt or some other obligation you feel you have, then just remember that you choose how you react to them. And it doesn't have to be that bad. And honestly, if you don't trust yourself to not be able to bite your tongue, then maybe try not doing the family thing. It might do more harm than good. But it's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, except when I tell you to hit the subscribe button. Maybe like us on Apple Podcasts. Maybe leave us a nice little review. Reviews are good. So go ahead and pause this since we're already wrapping it up and just go over to your Apple Podcast and 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Good night.